G'day, I'm the Home Distiller, and today we're going to go through how far I've gotten on my new 2x72 belt grinder. It's made out of 3/4 inch plywood, or 3/4 inch 18mm plywood. It's the main tension arm it's got two bits of pine either side of a piece of plywood, and a gas strut to add tension on it. I'm using a gas strut because I think a spring I just don't like the idea of a spring, because if you're putting tension on it and you let go, it's going to just shoot off, or if the belt lets go, it's just going to go batwang and fly off at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Whereas this is slow. It also has a little bit of dampening on it. But I think the shock that the strut that I have is a little bit too strong, so I may need to replace that with a smaller one. Don't know if I mentioned, I've got a Treadmill motor as the main drive motor. I'm going to at least attempt to start off with. It's only just wide enough, the original pulley off the Treadmill motor. It's actually mounted the other way around because the shaft's a bit short, and also I want to have the motor as enclosed as possible, so I'm not getting any, because it's a permanent magnet DC motor, any little grinding dust or metal flakes, chips that get in there are going to stick to the magnet, and it's not real good for the motor. So that's actually going to be fairly enclosed, and I'll probably have a bit of a filter on the end of it to stop grinding dust from getting in there. There'll be a control box mounted on here with a on-off switch, possibly a light. This is just a box that I had, and a speed control for the motor. So that'll be sitting on the enclosure for the motor just there, to keep it, help protect the motor as well. A good place to mount it on the enclosure. Now I've got 4 spots on the front to put the platen or any contact wheels, or if I want to have a contact wheel and a separate work rest or whatever. It also just adds stiffness to it, and I'll bring you in for some detail on that. And well, actually, let's start with how I designed it. I laid everything out on a bit of brown paper, the belt, the pulley, if that's exposing correctly, and kind of did a scale drawing on there, worked everything out from there. I'm limited on size of the base, of the depth, because of the bench that it's going on. I'll bring you in for a few details and talk about how I made it. I was going to do a full construction video, but to be honest, it's pretty basic. If you can't make this, you shouldn't be making knives or whatever. So this is the bench that it's going to sit on. As you can see, it's pretty narrow. So I want the base and everything to be contained within that, so I can take the platen or the contact wheel or anything off the front and have it, take the belt off, take that off, and then have it. So it's just a nice little narrow section sitting here. So you can see these are the holes. I haven't put a screw or anything on the side yet to, actually it'll be on this side, to tension the bar in. This is the bit of old rusty, one of the bits of rusty old steel that I've got that I'm going to use, but you'll see it's a bit tight, which is kind of good. Get in there. Go. So I might have to do a bit of tweaking on that actually. I think it's actually a bit tight. Well, she's a bit rusty. It's not helping the situation, but so as you can see, they go in there and we'll have a lock. I may need to do a bit of sanding or something to tweak that, but that's alright. You can see it's a little bit tight at the moment, but we can tweak that. These are all just screwed in. You can see the grid of screws all along here. I just cut most of the shape with a table saw or a band saw to get the curve up the top. This corner here, like this piece here, has got a small rebate in it, or dado, whatever you want to call it, for just a half lap joint. This side here is just screwed straight onto the base up from underneath, so I can take those screws out and take this side off. So I'll take those screws out, take this whole grid of screws out here, and this whole side will separate. The arm where it passes in through here, you can see it's a piece of plywood with a piece of pine laminated either side. So before I laminated these on, I cut with the bandsaw. I cut a little slot to give the end of this clearance, because as it goes up and down, you can see it has to move forward. It has to tip in this slot. And if I can get it so you can see down in there, which you might not be able to. Oh, you can just see in there those little yellow or orange just down inside. Just down inside there. So there and there, they're just little 3D printed bushes to stop the bottom of the strut from rocking side to side. And I had to cut a little notch out in here to give clearance for the gas strut. Instead of doing rebates or dados for these little shelves to sit in, I simply cut some little pieces of 7mm ply. If I can get the right side there, a little piece of 7mm ply. This has been glued and pin nailed to here to make that thick enough so these will kind of be nice and rigid in there. It's a little bit rough around the edges in places, but I'm not really going for style. Functions is the main thing. So I'm still yet to build the tensioner. Sorry, not the tensioner, the tracking adjustment, which I'm just going to use a hinge. I've started making the pulleys. That's going to be the tracking pulley, so we're going to have to crown that pulley. I actually cast these billets of aluminium, mainly because I'm cheap, and it's a lot cheaper to cast it than it is, from scrap pieces of aluminium than it is to buy a piece. There's a little bit of porosity in it, but it'll be fine for what I want. I bought these El Cheapo bearings off eBay. They are 6202s or 6202Z or ZZ, because they should be ZZ because they're shielded on both sides. I think these were about $3 a pair. $3 a pair, which shows with one of them's been damaged. You can see the shield has a bit of a shield on this one, if it'll focus. As AVE says, focus you fuck. There we go, as you can see there's a bit of a divot in there, but like I said, for the price I'll just make sure it's in an easy place to swap out. She'll be right. It still seems to turn freely, so she'll be right, mate. Yeah, so I'll give you a quick little snippets of putting the whole doohickey together. So that's how far I've got on the knife grinder so far, and what we'll cover in this video. I'll show you some clips of me making it and some of the details of how I'll put this together, just after a short little ad from YouTube, so I can try to make a little bit of money off this video. And hopefully you get some ideas on how to make your own. And thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe and all that good stuff, and stay tuned for the next video where I'll be casting the aluminium and turning the pulleys, and then hopefully we'll have it put together and do a test run. Okay, so I've 3D printed some little bushes. I could have made them on the lathe, but I have a 3D printer, so they just slip over the rod, and then that, and then that, and hopefully, yep, beautiful. So that's my, let's see if I can zoom that in so you can get a better look. So that's to stop the end of that from sliding side to side. Like if I didn't have these bushes, with that right in the middle there, it would just slide all over the joint. So I could have made them out of plywood, could have made them out of aluminium, could have made them out of steel, whatever. But I got a 3D printer, so how you could have stacked washers up if you wanted to. Right. So there's the main frame kind of done. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, leave it. And please like and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. If there's anything you want to see me build, let me know and we'll see what we can do. Thanks. I'm Home Distiller. Thanks for watching.